Good evening. The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades, and this country is not alone. All over the world, we're seeing the devastating impact of this invisible killer. That after schools shut their gates from Friday afternoon, they will remain closed for most pupils, for the vast majority of pupils, until further notice. 2 meters apart, you have to follow the social distancing advice. And even if you think that you are personally invulnerable, there are plenty of people that you can infect and whose lives will then be put at risk. And
I'm speaking to you at what I know is an increasingly challenging time. A time of disruption in the life of our country. A disruption that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to many, and enormous changes to the daily lives of us all. We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
If there was ever a good time to enter intensive care, this is not it.
I've tried not to take work home with me. This whole pandemic has made that impossible because you can't go home and not think about it because it's everywhere. You're reminded when you're cycling down an empty road that everyone's in lockdown and you see the socially distanced queues. This whole thing has stretched loads of people in different ways.
Trust us, the worst is yet ahead of us.
So that if either of these vaccines safely works, then we can make it available for the British people as soon as humanly possible.
Minister returned to work today at number 10, more than 3 weeks after he was admitted to hospital with the effects of coronavirus. The UK has now become the first country in Europe to record more than 30,000 deaths linked to coronavirus.
There is a path out, but we must remain ever vigilant, and we may have to have a significant alteration to our lifestyles.
The disinfectant that knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute, and is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because
it is now almost 2 months since the people of this country began to put up with restrictions on their freedom, your freedom, of a kind that we have never seen before in peace or war. And you have shown the good sense to support those rules overwhelmingly. You've put up with all the hardships of that program of social distancing because you understand that as things stand, and as the experience of every other country has shown, it's the only way to defeat the coronavirus.
This is a message from Dominic Lamont. Our humans are required to stay alert at all times.
È un'esperienza brutta perché si vede la morte. Si vede la morte, è come volver a nacer.
Per me è stato un dramma perché ci siamo trovati al fronte senza avere le armi per combattere.
It's like a trauma that you can never understand until you experience it.
This was already Brazil's biggest cemetery. The freshly dug graves in the city of Sao Paulo tell the story of a country struggling with an outbreak.
It's like an emotion, you know, you're up and down, you're caring for people under the hardest conditions. To see people get so sick and so poorly and only be able to hold their hand, not be able to give them a cuddle, not be able to do my job, it makes me feel frustrated inside.
I felt like I was losing every day.
Holy water and the holy salt, we use this for exorcism. There's something evil in this coronavirus disease. That's the work of the devil.
It's in times of crisis we find out who we really are. I've felt broken on many occasions, and I think a lot of my colleagues have.
We saw the fragility of life.
This guy's not going to survive it. So let's call the family. Think about it.
We saw its strength.
Well done.
Don't be fooled by the gentle pace. Time is twisted here.
Today we formally launch NHS Test and Trace.
Three, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA. Go SpaceX. Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
This is the one time I need to stand up and do my job. This is the one time I absolutely have to be there.
Every time I thought of my lot. Especially when you get breathing, you can't breathe properly. I have many thoughts of even, trying to kill myself. In fact, becoming a doctor, decision I had to make was my success was not going to go anywhere.
Good to see you. You coming into the garden? Yeah.
It was a difficult decision, haven't got time to do the homeschooling with all the work we've got on as well.
There was part of me that was thinking whether to bring her back because of whether she could get it, but the risks are quite low.
The day that the number of deaths from coronavirus has gone over 40,000 is a time of sorrow for us all.
This is not the last of our pandemics.
Today there are no active cases in New Zealand.
The government has pledged that all school-aged children in England will be back in class in September.
I have pneumonia in both lungs, and I'm fighting for me and my baby.
Mr. Speaker, I can tell the House that we will also reopen restaurants and pubs.
We expect to reach a total of 10 million cases within the next week.
I think people think I've forgot about COVID and they're having a COVID holiday. I don't know what's happening, that so many people think it's acceptable to come down here and use our beaches when we've got a national emergency going on. It's a national emergency and not a national holiday.
This has been a disaster, right? Let's not mince our words. I mean, this has been an absolute nightmare for the country. The country's gone through a profound shock.
Tomorrow marks 6 months since WHO received the first reports of a cluster of cases of pneumonia of unknown cause in China.
There have now been over 10 million reported cases of coronavirus worldwide, and more than 500,000 people worldwide have lost their lives.
Are you happy with yourself? No, not really.
Do you feel it's unfair?
Yeah, very unfair.
I've got everything I wanted. Happy to be done with it, really.
Oh my gosh! The happiest moment for me now, and I'm really, really emotional.
There's all these anti-vaxxers now, isn't it?
Well, Marina can tell you a little bit about how we've achieved that.
Your positive moment in history, the first to receive this vaccine. How does that feel?
It hasn't sunk in yet. I can't really answer that question yet. It's just really,
I don't know what to say. It's just overwhelming.
It's very moving to hear her say that she's doing it for Britain, and that's exactly right, because she's protecting herself, but she's also helping to protect the entire country.
For me, this is a source of enduring hope in difficult and unpredictable times. Of course, for many, this time of year will be tinged with sadness, some mourning the loss of those dear to them, and others missing friends and family members distanced for safety, when all they'd really want for Christmas is a simple hug or a squeeze of the hand. If you are among them, you are not alone, and let me assure you of my thoughts and prayers. The Bible tells how a star appeared in the sky, its light guiding the shepherds and wise men to the scene of Jesus' birth. Let the light of Christmas, the spirit of selflessness, love, and above all hope, guide us in the times ahead.